Can you hear me now? Once again, good morning. One deep desire that all of us have in our hearts at this time in the whole world. In other words, reveal Baba to the souls of the world. And are making our own effort to achieve that goal, that aim in our life. I was thinking, one of the easiest method Baba has been talking in various murlis, even this season, is to become equal to Baba. Because when each one of us become equal to both the incorporeal Father as well as the corporeal Father Brahma, automatically, as they say, son shows father. So each one of us will begin to reveal Baba through our own practical life. And one particular quality that we all can follow, that could be both from the corporeal and the incorporeal Father, is the quality of being a bestower. God is praised as the bestower, not as the giver. So if each one of us can become master bestowers, then wherever we are, whatever we are doing, each one of us will be showing the features of both the fathers through our activities. But what it means to be a bestower. When we look at God, how He bestows upon us, He bestows treasures, inheritance, blessings, knowledge, everything, fortune. And so we become filled with all those treasures that we receive from the bestower. We call God as the bestower because He only actually showers. Baba says, I am the only one, selfless server, altruistic. Baba is the only one who just gives without having any expectation of receiving anything. And that is why we also take from Him without any hesitation or fear that we have to give anything in return. So to be a bestower is to be a selfless giver. To be a bestower is one way, not two way. That is why we don't use the word giving and receiving. It is for human beings, we use this word, give and receive. We never use this word for God. God only bestows. Why? Because God's account is an open account. It's not an account of credit and debit. That means there is no question of creating any karmic account in that bestowing, because there is no expectation to receive anything. And that is one of the reasons God is praised as the one who is benevolent. Because someone who is benevolent only gives without any expectation, and they disappear. And that is why even up until now, there are so many memorials that are created in the name of God as the bestower, benefactor. And one cannot become a benefactor, a bestower, without having love and mercy. Sometimes you can also think about it. We all can think about it. What did Baba do to us, first of all? Did he give knowledge, or did he give love? If we say we experienced love from Baba, what kind of love we experienced from him that made us feel, that gave us the realization that this was God's love? God's love has a special ingredient, a love filled with mercy. That merciful love, when we experienced from Baba, gave us the feeling that this is genuine love. There is no hidden agenda behind it. Because nowadays, when we receive love from human beings, we have to think twice. What is the story behind this? What are they expecting from me by giving this love? But as far as God is concerned, we were able to accept that love, unconditional, selfless, unlimited love filled with mercy. That is why when we came to Baba, we experienced Baba as our mother. Because many of us may not have had this experience, God as mother. We may have had the experience of God as the father. Why? Because the love of the mother is totally different from the love of the father. Because mother's love is always filled with mercy, benevolence. What it means is actually, mother knows the defects of the child, but yet she doesn't count on the defects, but she counts on the specialities of the child and gives the strength to the child on the basis of those specialities, so that the strength received automatically helps the child to overcome the weaknesses. And this is what exactly Baba did to us, isn't it? He did not question what happened to us, why we had become like this. Baba accepted each one of us as we were, whatever we were, and made us belong to him. And that is what gave us the realization that forgiveness, that mercy, that this is God's love. And now, what is the world actually wanting to experience from God? No, this is why in this season's Murli, Baba has been telling us, we all have received so many treasures from Baba that we are not only becoming full, but we are overflowing with those treasures. And we have those treasures which people in the world today are searching for. They are thirsty. And so if we become Baba's helper in becoming a bestower, and in that also a merciful bestower, we are able to reveal God to the world through our practical life. Because no matter what kind of soul they may be, whatever religion they belong to, whatever faith they belong to, they all remember God, calling out, saying, "Oh, have mercy on me. Show compassion. Bless me." So everyone is asking for mercy, compassion, kindness, blessings from God. And that is why Baba said, of course, Baba does not perform the action alone, but he makes children as his instrument to help him in his task. Even in the last message that Baba gave on the 6th of March, Baba did underline these words. You have to become more merciful, compassionate, and kind towards your brothers and sisters, and give them what they are asking for. And so our role, according to the present time, is to be a master bestower filled with mercy and benevolence. So that means, first of all, I have to make sure that my treasure store is full. My treasure store is overflowing, and my treasure store is open, so that anyone can receive whatever they want just with a mere thought. Now the question is how to keep my treasure store constantly full and overflowing. So for that, one of the yukti I always use in my life is to make sure that I take from only one. If I have the desire to take from one another one, my apron of the intellect will have a hole. So I will not be able to contain, maintain whatever I have received from Baba and keep it full. So this is one of the problems most of us have. We still have the desire to receive something from human beings. How do you know that? We do complain, do we not? Very often, or even sometimes we do say, oh, this one did not give me love, I did so much service, this one did not give me respect, this one did not cooperate with me, I cooperated so many times. So what do you think this is? Complain, isn't it? So why am I complaining? Because I had that expectation. But if I am a bestower, master bestower, as Baba said in the last Murli, I will not wait for someone to give me. See, God did not wait for us to give Him first. God came and He just bestowed upon us. So I have to make sure that I take from one Baba, make Baba my one strength and my one support. And then I am able to share those treasures, whatever anyone wants, accordingly. So I can become a bestower of blessings, bestower of mercy, only when I don't want any form of pity from others. If I myself want self-pity, how can I become merciful? So sometimes we mix up mercy with pity. Actually, pity is not a virtue. Sometimes when you see someone suffering, when you see someone is in a pain, when someone is in sorrow, you feel pity. That means you begin to take their pain and make their pain your pain. That means you did not give any strength to that soul. So this is why compassion, which is actually a virtue that we gain on the basis of mercy, is defined as something. A compassion is something when I am able to see the pain of someone, I am able to acknowledge the pain of someone, but I do not absorb that pain into myself. Because that in itself is a massage for other souls to become free from pain. But sometimes we do take the pain of others to show mercy for them. But that Baba calls it as Maya's mercy. It is not mercy, accurate mercy based on knowledge. Because what is accurate mercy based on knowledge? One, to be able to give the accurate understanding to anyone in a particular situation. If I do not have the courage to give someone an accurate understanding of what is right and what is wrong, and I begin to draw their attention towards myself and saying, oh, I feel so sorry you are suffering like this. I feel really very sad. So which means that you have drawn that attention towards yourself. So neither you are able to have yoga with Baba, nor you allow that soul to have yoga with Baba. So we get entangled in each other. So I like this word when Dadi said once, if you want to be really merciful, you should neither have pity for anyone, nor you should have self-pity for yourself. When we are going through some kind of pain or suffering in our life, until someone comes to us and tells us, oh, I feel so sorry you are going through all these difficult times, until then we don't feel good. So when that kind of self-pity is shown, you begin to feel that there is somebody to ask you. Even when you look at the world today, there are many people who take a lot of sorrow looking at what is happening in the world. They are so worried, they are so sad. But does that help to make the world better? Does that mean to have mercy on the world? No. This is why it is important to understand the difference between having mercy and being pitiful. So what Baba teaches us is, first of all, I need to become a bestower, a benevolent soul, the one who constantly have benevolent feelings, constant feeling of making everyone good, constantly having that benevolent feelings, so that I am able to allow that quality of mercy to emerge from within. Mercy actually is the intrinsic quality of the soul. There are 5 master qualities of spirituality. And one of the main quality, foundation of spirituality, is mercy. And that is why until I identify myself as a soul, I cannot make this quality part of my life. So what is to be having mercy towards myself, and what it means to be merciful towards others? So let us understand that first clearly, so that we don't mix up Maya's mercy with having accurate mercy based on knowledge. See, many doctors and patients, suffer from heavy burnout. The reason is because instead of showing mercy, there is a lot of pity. Instead of having accurate mercy, there is Maya's mercy. So we get entangled with each other and begin to create karmic accounts which was not existing at all. So my first definition of mercy for the self is to constantly think positive about the self. And what it means to have mercy on others, to have good wishes for others, good thinking for the self, and good wishes for others. If I have any wrong thoughts, waste thoughts, weak thoughts about myself or others, I can say I am merciless. I do not have mercy on myself. That is accurate mercy based on knowledge. Secondly, to have mercy on myself is to be able to forgive myself. We all make mistakes, and we are all learning, and we learn through mistakes, and we are all allowed to make mistake once. But then because I have made a mistake, if I begin to whip myself, make myself feel guilty, I will not be able to progress. So I should be able to accept, admit, and let go. To be able to forgive and forget. If I am able to do that with myself, definitely I am able to forgive others. And I always keep this slogan in my mind. What it means to have mercy is actually, it is to show love in action. Because when you are able to forgive, forget the mistakes, the resentment, or anything from others, you have practically demonstrated that you love them. Because when someone loves someone, they do not keep any grudges, hatred feelings in their hearts. And thirdly, as I said, to have mercy means to be able to give the accurate understanding in any particular situation to anyone. Many times we know something is not accurate, but we are scared to tell the person, either out of fear or out of attachment. Particularly mothers, if they see their children doing something wrong, they do not dare to tell them because they are scared that either they will get upset or they may run away from the home. But in fact, to show real mercy is to have the courage to teach them what is right, not to lead them into the wrong action. To have mercy also means to be able to take the specialities of others. In other words, what Baba says is to be like a holy swan and let go of the defects. Because when I have mercy on myself, I have consideration, and I will extend that consideration to others. Very often Baba says in the Sakar Murlis, if a soul has mercy on oneself, they will follow Srimad at every step. So I demonstrate the quality, the value of mercy through my obedience. And if I allow others to follow Baba's Srimad at every step through my practical action, I have allowed them to be merciful. So actually, to have mercy, I need to first of all have love. If I don't have self-love, I cannot have mercy. And what it means to have love, to be able to accept, understand, give and forgive. And that is what Baba did to us. So if I want to express my mercy, the feelings of mercy, I need to make sure that my heart is filled with love. Because mercy is the foundation of spirituality. If you want to know whether a person is spiritual or not, you can count on the feelings of mercy they have towards others. Positive feelings. So don't mix up pity with mercy. And of course, as I said, sometimes we Brahmins show Maya's mercy on each other. When someone is doing something wrong against Srimad, instead of telling them the accurate thing to do, we feel sorry for that person and we become at that time support for that person. And they will start to think, oh, there is no one in the world who understands my feelings. Look, this is the person who understands what is in my heart really. So what happens? In the long run, we get into karmic bondages. So this is why never allow any other person to have Maya's mercy on you. Never anybody should say, I feel so pity. I feel so sorry that you have to go through all this. Nor should I take, chance to show that Maya's mercy towards anyone. No, this is why Baba said, a soul who is merciful automatically have an attitude of unlimited disinterest. Now you may wonder how these two are connected. But disconnected. Why? Because when you have merciful feeling for yourself and others, neither you have jealousy, nor hate, nor you will become careless in your effort. And so you will be able to constantly move ahead with the aim of becoming equal to the Father. And that is why you don't allow any souls to show Maya's mercy. So nowadays, as Baba says, you have to become a merciful bestower, not just a bestower, but a feelings filled with that kindness, compassion, generosity, all this together. So that means we have to enlarge our heart, isn't it? Because if you look at compassion and kindness, these are actually the virtues that is acquired on the basis of the quality mercy. Mercy is a quality, intrinsic quality of the soul. There are 7 intrinsic qualities within the soul, and one of them is mercy. And so the more soul consciousness I practice, the more merciful I become, and I am able to make others experience that feelings without speaking a single word. So it is on the basis of that spirituality I can imbibe compassion and kindness. So Baba wants all 3 together: mercy, compassion, and kindness. So this is why Baba has been talking about conquering anger, conquering ego, conquering arrogance, because arrogance and mercy cannot go together. Ego and kindness cannot go together. So if you want to be kind, you need to be gentle. You need to be sweet. And that sweetness and gentleness in my action cannot come if I am not interacting from deep within. So that is why it is always mentioned that kindness is practical spirituality. Mercy is the foundation of spirituality. But kindness is the practical spirituality. You don't even need to speak and say to someone, I am spiritual. But if I am kind in my thinking, if I am kind in my words, or even if I am kind in my sharing, that is revealed automatically. So what it means, how do you know I am kind in my thinking? So kindness in thinking actually makes us profound. Kindness in words build confidence in others. Kindness in giving creates love. No, this is why Baba says, don't be miserly, whether in giving respect, giving love, give abundantly, because you are being given by the ocean, isn't it? So through this kindness, which is very gross action maybe, but it makes people think that you are coming from the source. So I was thinking, even within the Brahmin family, if we can practice this virtue of kindness, being courteous, as Baba says, think before you think before you speak, or think before you act. So which means if I can handle my mind in a gentle way, I will definitely handle others accordingly. So kindness is something that we can see practically in action. But compassion is little bit more subtle than kindness actually. See, compassion is a combination of 4 values. It's not just one. It's a combination of love, respect, empathy, and goodwill. When all these four qualities are combined, so that is true compassion. And true compassion for me is a byproduct of your closeness to God. Why we want to be compassionate towards someone? It is just because you feel you have received so much in your relationship with God, and you feel the feeling of belongingness, See, without having that feeling of belongingness, you cannot have compassion. Like sometimes, brothers of the same parents, maybe living in the same family, they don't have any compassion. Instead, there is more cruelty. Compassion actually comes from deep within the heart. That is why it is always connected with the heart. In fact, whether it is mercy or compassion, it is something connected with the heart. It is not intelligence, It is nothing connected with the intellect. Because compassion is non-judgmental. No, compassion is selfless. Compassion is blameless. So it doesn't come from the intellect. Because intellect always discriminates whom to give and whom not to give. But compassion is due to the feelings that I have received, the love that I have received from God in so much of abundance that I feel like sharing. Not with any ego, not with any self-centric motive, but with the feelings that they are also my brothers and sisters. They should also receive. When Baba says that you should do service through the mind, you should give sakash to the souls of the world. Many times we hear in the message that when Dadi Gulzar goes in trance, she sees that Baba was standing on the top of the mountain of light, with lot of mercy, giving sakash to the whole world. So what means I need to emerge that feelings of belongingness. This whole world is my family. And I have received so much love from God, so much of sustenance, and let all this be received by other souls. I just need to emerge that feelings, loving feelings, compassionate feelings. And if it is genuine, when you are having that feelings at the same time, the souls of the world, whoever is in tune with God, they will begin to experience that from God. This kind of service Baba wants us to do more. As Baba said today in the message also, that each one of us have this elevated thought to serve the world, and we are doing it according to our strength, but sometimes maybe because of not understanding the right method, so we may not be sure whether it is right or not. So actually compassion is definitely, the true compassion is the byproduct of my closeness to God. The more close I feel to God, the more love and acceptance I feel from God. I just want the people in the world to feel that, sharing. Like love means sharing and caring. So compassion is also a form of love in action. And that is why compassion doesn't have any judgment. But if I am not having compassion towards myself, I cannot show compassion to others. Sometimes we are very strict on ourselves, We are very hard on ourselves, and so we are not able to make ourselves transform the self according to what we want. So what it means to be a merciful bestower, it means to be so full of these qualities of mercy, compassion, benevolence, and kindness, that I just immerse the feeling that this should be experienced by the souls in the world. Let them also come close to God. They are my brothers and sisters, and let them also receive this inheritance. So this kind of feeling that we create automatically reaches, in the form of laser. But of course, we all have experienced having compassion, kindness towards someone, when they are in the deathbed. Like say you have some relationship with someone. So when you are living together with them, you may not have expressed that love and that kind of kindness or whatever, but when they are very sick, when they are almost about to die, all of a sudden, you emerge so much of love urgently, so much of compassion, so much of forgiveness, as if nothing has happened before. Why wait for that moment? Why not create, such a generous heart that I am able to share that same feelings all the time? So this is where, mercy is necessary. I cannot be compassionate towards someone. I cannot show kindness without being merciful towards myself. So this is why Baba always talks about working on the self. See how much mercy you have towards yourself. If I am able to be so merciful towards myself, then practically it will be shown in the form of compassion and kindness towards others. So this is why I need to make sure that I go back to my roots, the basic lesson of soul consciousness. Sometimes we wonder, why is that Baba always emphasizes on being soul conscious all the time? But there is a significance, there is a reason. Because it is only in that awareness of being a soul, I can emerge the intrinsic qualities of love and mercy for myself. And only when I interact with other souls, on that level, I am able to share that. And because with that soul consciousness, I am connected with Baba, so I am able to draw from the source. So I am able to always feel myself full. So I would not want somebody to have that kind of kindness towards me or compassion, but I want to give. So now, because we know what is the situation in the world today, there is so much of cruelty, there is so much of, unkindness, there is so much of bitter feelings towards each other. So in order to bring the hearts together, I have to make sure that my heart is always full. So this is why I was sharing in the beginning that it is important for me to take from one, and then I am able to share with all other souls in the world. So that feeling that I have received whatever I want to from one Baba will always keep myself content. Because when I am content with myself, it is one form of having mercy on myself. So when I am able to make others content, it's also mercy on others. sometimes we can understand contentment as being just complacent. Okay, I am happy with whatever I have, whatever I am. This may be the part in my drama, but that is not real contentment. So this is why it is an important subject Baba has been emphasizing, that my hand should be always open. In the sense, just giving without any expectation. Then, if I am always taking from one and giving, there will be no complaints. Baba says, suppose if there is a beggar who does not even have a single penny, and if you complain that they did not give you anything, so who is to be blamed? Actually, they don't have anything actually. What can they give? So it is same thing. When someone doesn't have love for themselves, when someone doesn't have respect for themselves, they will definitely disrespect someone, isn't it? So instead of complaining at that time, if I have mercy for that soul, I understand the situation. So because you understand the situation, so you give respect instead of complaining. So it has to actually start with the basics. What we are going through in our university at present is actually the last lesson. The first lesson is also the last lesson. So it is not have to go into any complicated lessons, but practicing soul consciousness in such a way that we are able to embody the qualities of the soul in our practical life. Now, I was mentioning about the 7 qualities of the soul. So I mentioned one of them, but the other 6 qualities, which are intrinsic within ourselves, we don't have to bring it out from somewhere else. Like, for example, peace, love, power, purity, truth, mercy, and bliss. So these are the 7 basic qualities. So on the basis of these qualities, we acquire virtues. Now we talk about 36 virtues of the soul. So kindness and compassion are the virtues that you acquire on the basis of mercy. So that means the more soul consciousness I practice, the more I am able to bring out that quality in my action, and that will automatically manifest in the form of having compassion or kindness towards others. Actually, many times we wonder, when we hear the stories in the world, people who are living far away, people whom we don't even know, when we hear their situation, we feel so much compassion for them in their heart, in our heart. So many people met with an accident, so many people died like this, so many things happened. So we hear the stories of other people and we feel so much compassion in our heart. But what about the person who is living with me day and night? What about the people who is living under the same roof? Do I have the same compassion for them? Let me ask my heart. Do I have the same consideration, same kindness to them? So sometimes it is lacking. Why? Because we have so much of expectations. And when we have expectations, we condition our mind. And when our mind is conditioned, what happens? There is no appreciation. Even if someone is doing their best, but we are not able to appreciate, because expectation stops appreciation. So instead of appreciation, there is more criticism. And so we are not showing compassion to the people who are living with us. So I think this is what is very important. If I want to really express my good wishes, express my heartfelt, pure feelings, whatever the person is doing, everybody, I think, are trying their best, isn't it, to do whatever they can. So if I am able to acknowledge that you have done your best, it actually encourages them to do better. Now, this is something I have learned from Bap Dada very much, because in those days when Bap Dada used to meet us in person, many times small children also used to come, and they will just used to draw certain pictures on a piece of paper, and they will just put it in front of Baba. But they have done it with so much of enthusiasm. And for us, we would feel, oh, it's nothing, a few lines together makes you Baba. But then Baba would look at that child and look at the picture, give drishti and say, acknowledging, it is good. It brings so much of enthusiasm that, of course, the same children have now grown up and they are doing wonders, of course. So what is actually important to express my good wishes, even if I don't say in words, but my feelings and attitude, that you have done your best, well done. So that vibration, that attitude is a form of mercy that I am showing for that soul. It is like giving wings of zeal and enthusiasm. Now what Baba said, mercy means to give hope to those who are hopeless. So why is that doctors, you see in the hospital when a patient is sick, even though they know the patient is going to die tomorrow, what they say, no, you will get well soon, don't worry. They always give patients, hope. Because suppose if the patient is going to die tomorrow, and if the doctors tell the patient straight away, look, you are going to die tomorrow, they will die right away. Don't you think so? Because it is a shock, isn't it? So it is giving hope. It is giving hope to the hopeless. Even though they may not have done something according to your expectation, but they have done something. So it is like giving zeal and enthusiasm, giving that oxygen in the form of energy so that the souls start flying. So this is possible only when I have respect for myself. That is what is called mercy on the self. When I have respect for myself, I will definitely give that wings of zeal and enthusiasm to others. See, we see this Bap Dada demonstrating practically when he begins the Murli. He gives us so much of self-respect. He makes us to feel that we are so great, we are so elevated. Where, genuine feeling of self-respect. And after all that, if he tells us, look, you must correct in this little bit, we don't mind, isn't it? No, this is why many times Baba says, when you want to help someone to show the accurate method to move in the wrong path, with the right path, don't tell them their defects straight away. Because nobody is prepared to hear their defects straight away, isn't it? Because they know. But to hear from someone, you need a lot of self-respect. So this is why we have to use a method called sandwich method. You know sandwich method? That means, first of all, you appreciate the person's speciality. Make them feel that they are of worth, of value. And then you, with lot of good wishes in your mind, you just mention that if you can just correct this a little bit, it would be nice. And then you again mention about their worth. So they would not feel that we are offending them. Just like Baba many times gives the example that the doctors don't operate on the patients right away, isn't it? They give them anesthesia first and then operate so that they don't feel the pain. What we do sometimes is we go and operate on people straight away and they start screaming. But actually, this is what Baba means diplomatic, yukti yukt. Means, of course, you are genuine. It is not you are boasting or you are bluffing or anything, but you are genuinely mentioning their self-worth, their speciality. And with that lot of good wishes, if you have just mentioned a little correction, and then you again finish it with their self-respect, it doesn't make them feel bad. So that is what I have to apply on myself too. So this is why one of the way of understanding being merciful is actually give hope to the hopeless. Give energy to those who have lost enthusiasm. No, this is what Baba called it as increasing the account of charity in one of the recent Murlis. Even if you are able to give courage to those who have lost courage, it is like giving breath. What is courage in Brahmin life? When we have lost the courage, we are half dead. And that is why no matter what, it's very important to lose courage and not to make others lose their courage. Because to encourage is one thing, and to discourage is another thing. So as well-wishers of other souls, what is our duty? To encourage souls. And you can encourage souls only when you appreciate them. Not praising. Praising is different from appreciating. Because you must not make souls get used to praise all the time. Then it becomes like spoiling someone. Because then when you don't praise, then they start thinking that you don't like them. But appreciation is to encourage them. So in that way, I am actually accumulating in my account of charity. This is one way of showing mercy and compassion to other souls. Because if I am not exhibiting these qualities through my practical action, in my interaction, in my daily life, how can I sit in meditation and all of a sudden emerge the quality of mercy and compassion to the souls of the whole world? Is that possible? Whatever I have been doing in my daily life, that is what is going to influence my meditation practice also. So it is not that at the time of meditation, I will just sit there and start immersing myself, standing on the top of the world and then giving sakash, sending out mercy and good wishes. It doesn't reach. Because I have not had good wishes to the people who live with me. I have not had good wishes for myself. I have been thinking waste about myself. I have been having waste thoughts about my companions, people who live with me. So how can that good wishes reach the world? So I have to experiment in my daily life, as we interact with each other. How much I can share these feelings. Mohini Ben was talking the other day about bhavna. Bhavna is very, very important in being a merciful bestower. If your feelings, you may not say anything, but if your feelings are filled with those qualities, others can sense it. Because I have heard many times, like Dadi Janki has shared her experience, like she will visit some new country where she has never been to. And when she arrived for the first time, People will say, oh, but Dadi, you are so kind to us. You have such merciful feelings. But how did they know that Dadi has that quality? Because it is something that passes very fast. So it is feelings count a lot in practicing this stage of being a merciful bestower. So I have to make sure my feelings are always clean. See, there are 4 types of feelings in our mind. Say, ill feelings, bad feelings, positive feelings, and personal feelings. Because we have sometimes, when there is attachment to each other, you have personal feeling for that person, not for everyone. Like sometimes when you send good wishes to your family. They should come to knowledge. What about the world? Are they not your family? But say, no, my husband should come to the knowledge. Baba, open the lock on the intellect of my husband. What about the whole world? So that is personal feelings. So feelings are again connected with the thoughts that we have. So what kind of thoughts emerges ill feelings? Sometimes we do say, oh, I am sick of this person. Have you heard? You are sick of somebody. So you got sick feelings. Every time you think about them, you get sick. So your feelings turn sick. So what is that? Because of negative thinking. When I have negative thoughts about myself or others, I always feel sick. Not feeling bodily sick, but mentally sick. Nothing seems to be good, And of course, bad feelings come when I have waste thoughts. Like you feel bad, you don't feel good about a person. Because you have certain condition in your mind. Like this thing should be kept like this, the table should be kept like this, this. But if somebody has kept in another way, you feel bad. Already you got waste thoughts. So bad feelings. So how can I have mercy for that soul? And then personal feelings because of attachment. Extra love for someone will always create personal feelings. That is why Baba always teaches us, love one and love all. Don't have extra for anybody. Extra means something wrong. So that means it attracts each other. It doesn't attract me towards Baba. So the feelings that help me to maintain mercy, compassion towards each other and towards the world is positive feelings. So positive feelings is selfless feelings. There is no judgment, there is no selfishness. It is just like natural. So I can have that kind of positive feelings constantly only when my thoughts are positive. I can have positive. I can see very clearly, isn't it? See, you can catch your thoughts on the basis of the feelings you have. You can't deny, Definitely, you have negative feelings, ill feelings because you have negative thoughts. You have bad feelings because you have waste thoughts. You have positive feelings because your thoughts are positive. That means you are soul conscious. So I need to actually make sure that my feelings and then my intention has to be clean. Otherwise, I cannot bestow on souls selflessly. Then there will be selfish motive if my intention is not clean. And I liked this very much when Dadi gave a class many years ago. Our bhavana, feelings are connected with our attitude. And our intentions are connected with our sanskaras. So that is why in Hindi we always use the word bhav and swabhav. So when I divide the words swa and bhav, separate them, self and intention. So then my intention is not clean anymore. But when I am soul conscious, I am able to emerge my original eternal sanskara. No, that is why Baba said in one of the Murli, emerge your sanskaras of being a bestower. Because my original eternal sanskara is that of a bestower. So if that sanskara is remained in the emerged form, my intentions will be clean. But if I allow the acquired sanskara, the Ravan's property, body conscious sanskara, that I have acquired from the copper age to influence me, then my intentions will be colored. So this is why I need to check if my attitude is not clean, that means my feelings will be affected. So if my feelings are not clean, that is due to my thoughts. So this is why if I want to become a merciful bestower, let me work on having what we call Sat Bhavana. That means Sat Bhavana means true feelings. Clean feelings, pure feelings towards myself and towards all others. And in that, mercy, forgiveness, compassion, kindness, all that comes together. But I need to make sure that that subtle feelings that emerges in my heart is always clean. And that is why we have to go back to the lesson first, so that we maintain that stage consistently. So we have opportunity in Madhuban, when we are here, to look at ourselves more and catch ourselves where our feelings, how it changes from different person to person, and we also get the remedies here, how to clean it. So that when we are here, if we practice having so much of pure feelings and good wishes for myself, then I can extend it automatically to all others. And of course, we must always begin with ourselves, with the Brahmin family, and to the world at large. No, that is why Baba says charity begins at home. So this is why we have the opportunity here in Madhuban, in Gyan Sarovar, when we are here, to look at ourselves, transform ourselves in whatever way, so that when we return to our places, we go totally transformed. So take back this just that, I need to keep constantly taking from one and give to all. Take from one and give to all creates unity. If we have the aim of taking from one and taking from others, we will always have complaints. So Baba is giving so much, bestowing upon us without any expectation. So our hand should be always like this. This is the hand of the bestower. And this is the hand of the beggar. So what am I? Is my hand always like this? Or like this? Or in between? That is business, because if you are not a bestower, you are not a beggar, then what you are? A businessman. What does the businessman do? Deal. You give me 1 time, I'll give you 10 times. Counting. Bargaining, business, no. Because it is not anything of mine that I am giving. The one who is giving, the other one is receiving. I am just made an instrument. So I am just receiving a little bonus for being an agent. So that means Baba is giving, the other one is receiving. I am observing. I am only a channel. So don't be in between like this. Completely. This is our memorial of the last Kalpa. Even today, all the deities are always shown like this. So even though physically we don't walk with our hand like this, but in our mind we should be like that. Anyone who comes in contact with us, they must get something. No? They must not go back without receiving something. Then only I am called as a bestower. Whatever they want. If I give, I will say, I will give you this. But if it's a bestower, they get what they want. So when souls who come in contact with me, if they get what they want, they will give you the title bestower. I cannot give the title to myself. We call the sun the bestower because we receive light. So this is why I just need to be an image full of all treasures. As Dadi always says, each one of us become a mobile supermarket. One stop, one shop. Anybody can come to you. They can do self-service. You don't even ask them what you want. You just be an image. Let them take what they want. And when they get what they want, what they say, satisfied customer is the best advertisement. Next time they will say, you go to this person, you will get what you want. And that is how you become worship-worthy soul. So take back that message with you to become a mobile supermarket, a bestower. Just be with full stock, everything, and let them take what they want. Anyone, whether jnani souls or jnani souls. And once they are satisfied, they give you the title bestower. And of course, you can bestow because your heart is so generous, your heart is filled with the generous feelings. Okay? Om Shanti. We just have a few minutes questions, maybe 10 minutes, 2 questions. If there is any burning questions anybody has. Is there anybody wants to ask anything? Yes? Totally content? It seems no questions. That's a good indication. So now we just have to do it.